I told you not to say. If there's one thing to not say, it's this.
Está bien, pues tú ni sabes hablar. What the f*** are you talking about? I don't know.
I'm just kidding. We're
Just kidding.
We're friends.
We're kidding. We're kidding. Hello everyone, your favorite Boricua buddies, the one and only Boricua buddies are here today.
You know it.
You know it. All right, so the other day I was talking at the office and the topic of Puerto Ricans from the island treating Puerto Ricans that are not from the island differently. That's something that happens way more often than you think. Like, I know that we joke about it and I'm always like, oh, I'm here, a real Puerto Rican with Eli who doesn't know shit about Puerto Rico and I'm gonna teach him stuff. And then people in the comments are always like, why does Ivan think that he's so much bigger and better because he's from the island?
Because he does. That's why. No, I'm kidding. No, you're right. I mean, well, there's a lot of playful back and forth, and I think that was the interesting thing. Is like when we did the first video together when I made my grandma's Puerto Rican rice. Like I was like, who am I gonna have help me? I'm like, oh, Ivan. He's from the island. He's a Puerto Rican.
A real
from the
Puerto
island.
Rican.
And it kind of it just
See, it's joking.
It brews this like kick. Like it's such like a Latin thing too. Growing up, it's just like you just like talk shit to each other.
I know.
It's like, and it's just like a knee-jerk response. Do you feel that you are better?
I don't, honestly. We joke about it because we are close enough to do it, but I would never go to like a Puerto Rican from New York that I've never met and be like, hey, where are you from? Puerto Rico. Oh, what city? I'm from New York. And I'm like, oh, you're not a real Puerto Rican then. There are people out there that do, and it's definitely not a good thing to do.
Right.
Because the same way that you learn from me and my culture, I learn from you and your culture and the way you grew up in Chicago. It's because you could be born in Puerto Rico, so you're technically Puerto Rican, but then if you went to Europe and lived the rest of your life, that doesn't make you any less Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I'll never forget, I watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was like this clip. It was Will and it was Carlton and they were trying to get into fraternity. Will got in, but Carlton didn't get in. And Carlton confronted the guy who didn't let him in, and there was this beautiful line that I kind of like stick with me with my own Latin identity. He said, black isn't what I'm trying to be, it's what I am. Puerto Rican is not necessarily what I'm trying to be, it's what I am. So if it's like I'm from Chicago or if I'm from Europe or whatever else, it's a very different experience, but it is still what I am. I'm like third generation. Like I'm thinking everyone still listens to Hector Lavoe and the Funny All-Stars. I'm thinking just that's what everyone listens to. And it wasn't until I met like young Puerto Ricans in Chicago chatting, I was like, yo, this? And they're like, nah, we're listening to like Gasolina, son. Like, what are you talking about?
Even the Gasolina is like
Even
gone by
Gasolina's
now.
that's
That's like,
I'm aging myself.
you are. To me, I always feel like a connection with a Puerto Rican, even if they're not from the island.
Yeah, I was like one of the few Latinos at the office when I first started, the only Puerto Rican. And I remember when the second Puerto Rican, Alexis Garcia, AG, I saw her walking in, like from a mile away, I knew
like,
her ass was Puerto Rican. I'm like, you are Puerto Rican. She knew I was Puerto Rican too, and we hugged each other. And it's that thing of like, it does. I know you might be from the island, you might have a completely different upbringing than I do, but we're like, it's something that we can grasp on. And that's a beautiful thing to have. Like not a lot of people have that. You could talk crap after you get to know each other, but it's that level. But I love the fact that like I can be anywhere in the world, and if I see that flag in someone's car, that's my best friend. I had very limited viewpoints of what it was like on the island until I went when I was a teenager. It was there where I felt like a bit of an outcast. I was dying in that heat. I went in July. I got a sunburn. I've never gotten a sunburn in my life until I got to the island, and I felt like just a fake-ass Puerto Rican.
Have you ever experienced someone kind of treating you different? I
experienced a lot of passive-aggressive comments, like being, especially I don't know Spanish.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of passive-aggressive comments on that end. Do you experience a lot of people talking down on Puerto Ricans that don't live on the island?
Yeah, I've noticed it before, and it happens, and that's that's one of the many reasons I wanted to have this conversation. I feel like we both learn from each other, and there is nothing more beautiful than me serving as a tool to share my experiences and my culture and food and traditions and all of that with people that are not even Puerto Rican, you know, or people that are Puerto Rican that wanted to be more involved, like the video we did with Destiny.
Yeah.
That video was beautiful because there was this girl that never grew up knowing she was Puerto Rican, or at least like with that culture, and then now as a grown-up, she's like, I actually want to know what it's like to be Puerto Rican. And I was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we taught her the food, we taught her the slang, we taught her everything.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful thing to have and to share, and I think that's us as Puerto Ricans, we could be the shining example of what that looks like and what that can be and what is possible for the future.
That's right. Love one another, Puerto Ricans.
Just love everybody.
From everywhere, from around the world.
Like, I give this guy
Like
a lot
you,
of shit, but
we're Boricua buddies.
Puerto Rico buddies.
Follow like.